Today we want to look at how slavery started in Africa and ended up in America, but long before the arrival of the first European traders in Africa. The continent was a tapestry of diverse cultures, thriving kingdoms, and intricate trade networks. The roots of slavery in Africa can be traced back to those early societies, where captives from wars or raids were often integrated into households as laborers or servants. Unlike the chattel slavery that would later emerge, these early forms of servitude were often more fluid, with individuals sometimes able to earn their freedom or rise in status. However, as kingdoms expanded and conflicts intensified, the demand for labor grew, leading to a more systematic approach to enslavement. As the centuries rolled on, the trans-Saharan trade routes began to flourish, connecting Africa to the Mediterranean and beyond. This burgeoning trade network saw the exchange of goods, ideas, and, tragically, people. African kingdoms, recognizing the economic potential of slavery, began to capture and sell their own war prisoners or those from rival tribes. The demand for labor to work on plantations in the Americas also increased. The once localized practice of slavery evolved into a global enterprise driven by profit and greed, leaving an indelible mark on the continent and its people. Thus, what began as a complex social structure metamorphosed into one of history's darkest chapters, forever altering the course of African societies and the world at large. World was a vast, untamed land, brimming with opportunity and the promise of prosperity. European powers, particularly the English, were eager to stake their claim, but they quickly realized that cultivating the rich soil of America required more than just ambition and a few willing hands. They saw the of entering into the transatlantic slave trade, a grim yet lucrative enterprise that would forever alter the course of history. As the colonies struggled to grow cash crops like tobacco and cotton, the demand for labor skyrocketed, and the solution, albeit a morally reprehensible one, was to import enslaved Africans who were forcibly taken from their homelands and sold into bondage. The first ship carrying enslaved Africans arrived in Virginia in 1619, a date that would mark the beginning of a dark chapter in American history. Initially, the colonies relied on indentured servants, European immigrants who worked for a set number of years in exchange for passage to America. However, as the supply of willing indentured servants dwindled and the profitability of plantations soared, the colonies turned to the African slave trade, just like how they have turned to Africa for its natural resources. The system was insidiously rationalized. Enslaved people were seen not as human beings, but as property, a commodity to be bought, sold, and exploited. This dehumanization was cloaked in a veneer of economic necessity, as plantation owners justified their actions with the mantra of "the ends justify the means." As the years rolled on, the institution of slavery became deeply entrenched in American society, entwining itself with the very fabric of the economy.